Hello and welcome to another episode of DiecastRestos. My name's Jason and today we'll be working on the 73C Mercury. I have two versions of this model. One has all of the wheels, which I will be working on, but this is the lesser of the two. It's very badly scratched, very pitted, just needs a new fresh coat of paint, and the wheels just need touching up a little. The metalwork will need a little bit of polishing just to freshen it up. This version came with the press down steering mechanism. So here are the two models themselves, so I'll be working on the one with all 4 tyres remaining. I will repair and restore the other version later on. So first of all, I'll be drilling out the rivet posts. This takes a little bit of work using the 5mm drill. Just a little bit of rotation to dig in and to take out that rivet post. So after that's been done, it's as simple as just popping it apart, and there we go. So out comes the interior seating, and the windscreen is also present there, but as you can see, it does have a rivet post that will need drilling out as well. So here I am just gently drilling out that rivet post in the windscreen, just careful not to run onto the plastic too much to avoid any cracks. Next I move on to removing the wheels just using some needle nose pliers. So here is the first time I'll be using some paint stripper, just a little excessively to be honest. You don't generally need this much to remove the paint. After leaving it for about 10 minutes using the type I've got here, it seemed to have just completely removed and flaked away all of the existing paint. I just made sure I had a good coverage overall on the first run. And here you can just see how easily the paint just brushes away after 10 minutes of leaving it. I'm just sure to remove all of the paint just surrounding the windows, and after doing this I'll just rinse it off with some soap and water. Here I am just drilling out the rivet post using a 1.5mm drill bit, and there's 2 rivet posts on this one, front and rear. After using a small amount of brake fluid just to lubricate the rivet posts, I use the screw tap to thread the posts. So following the paint removal and just putting some temporary screws into the rivet posts, here's the model itself. Now using some light grey Tamiya primer, I apply a light coat across the model so the paint can adhere properly. It really picks out the details of the model after doing this, and I'll take some stills just to show you how good some of the details really are on the casting. Just making sure you pick out all sides on this, including the underside. So here it is, just making sure I've covered all areas. It's a nice fine and even layer across all of it. It makes the little details really stand out. So you can really see the detail in the grille and the vents, the little commuter badge on the side, and the Mercury badge on the rear. It's incredible detail. Now I just noticed there was a slight join mark on the back of the model, just in front of where the badges are on the rear corners. So I just give them a bit of a sand down and a little file down just to smooth them out and just to make the model look a little more complete. So once that's done, I just give it another prime and then that'll be ready for painting. Now for this model I decided not to use a Tamiya spray. I decided to go to my local Halfords store, which in the UK is an auto car parts shop, the best way to describe it, and I bought some Rover Applejack spray paint. Now this would typically have been used on Rover models, Minis and all sorts over the years. But it's a very thick paint, so I've not had to apply too many coats to this one. But as you can see, after it's dried, it's got a very nice finish to it. I wanted to try and match the original as closely as possible within budget restrictions. Even still, after a couple of coats and some clear coat over the top, it does look fantastic. So now I'll just use a wire brush to clear up the metal base before applying some auto-soled polish, and then using my Dremel tool just to brush over that and make it really stand out again. And the most satisfying part was definitely doing the grille. It looked so dull and lifeless previously, but after a quick polish it looks good as new. It's fantastic. Just making sure to cover all areas on the base, including the rear section there. Now it's not perfect, but the result is pretty good. I'm quite happy with the outcome here. And once again you can just see the detail in that grille. The polish has really brought it back to life. Now, using the same auto-sol product, I'm just going to buff it against an old towel. There was a little bit of damage to the windscreen itself after removing the rivet. And you can see here that has cracked down onto the windscreen itself. Now, I wanted to recycle as many parts as I possibly could, so I've persevered with this for the time being. I wanted to see how it looks. I may replace this at a later date. Next, I'm just going to brush off the plastic inserts in some hot soapy water and with a toothbrush, and make those two dogs in the back stand out once more. Then I decided to drop the tyres in for a quick freshen up into the same bath of hot water, and the same with the chrome hubs. And I just did a little bit of scrubbing just to clear them out and freshen up those tyres. After this, I used a Molotow liquid chrome pen. This is just to give the hubs themselves a new lease of life. And applying with a small paintbrush, I just gave them a quick coat of paint, each one with a thin layer. Now, the hubs themselves weren't in particularly bad condition. Some just needed a slight touching up where they'd lost some of the chrome shine. And there we are. The shine has been restored once more. So I just reapplied the plastic tyres, which slipped quite easily, back onto the hubs. Then, after running the axle through my drill onto a piece of sandpaper, as in my previous video, just to give them a little bit more of a shine, the wheels could be reattached to the model. The axles just clip into the suspension linkage in the base. Using the same chrome pen as I'd used for the hubs, I'm just going to give the ends of the axles a quick going over with the chrome pen. This is just because they might have lost a little bit of their shine after I tapped them back in just using the ball end of a hammer. Now for the reassembly, I placed the windscreen back into the model, followed by the plastic inserts. I had some M2 screws which I will later colour code to fit in with the rest of the models. You can there see just the slight crack in the windscreen. I'm umming and ahhing about replacing it. But the dogs look happy. So here we go then, on my cheap spinning thing. This is the previous model that I've not yet updated, but you can sort of see the difference here. The paint had scratched away. There's obviously the grille, which looks very dull. The hubs are just very scratched as well. This one obviously missing the tyres and there's a lot of dirt. But you can there see the incredible difference. Just a new lick of paint, a bit of a polish, a bit of paint on the rims, and it's as good as new. And it looks 100 times better. I'm really pleased with the model. Obviously the only downside is that slight crack in the windscreen. It's not bothering me too much at the moment, but I'm not putting these up for sale or anything. This is just for my personal experience and just trying to better myself. But thank you again for watching. If you've liked it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.